Hi everybody, this is Harmony with Harmony Stitches and welcome to my channel. Here we talk about my crafting journey, which usually revolves around cross stitch, but we usually every couple months have some knitting or crochet thrown in just for fun. Thank you so much for everyone that have came and visited me and watched my WIP parade, my 2023 year-end WIP parade. I thank you so much. I appreciate everyone who watches, likes, comments, subscribes. It all makes it worthwhile. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and do so because that means it gets put out there for other people to see, and then more people can visit and chat along with us and see what I've been working on. So I worked on several things, one of which being crochet. So I'm going to start with that. I decided that this year I would love to finish my 2019 temperature blanket. I am housing it in this, well, not all of it, but in this bag, and I'm carting it back and forth with me to work. Not every day, but I'm definitely bringing it home on the weekends because then if I make it to church, I will crochet on the way there and back. And 2 weeks ago, I was able to get 4 diamonds done. So one of my issues with this project is I took the crochet hook out, and I can't remember which one I was using. So I started with this one when I picked it back up, and it's a US 2.75 millimeter. It's really small. The other one that I have in here is a 3.25 millimeter, a US 3, but I think it's too big. But the thing is, when I'm knitting the orange ones with the smaller hook, this US 2, they seem to be too small. But the yellow diamond seemed to be about right. So I'll show you what I'm talking about. So I'm going to set this aside. I have my little book in there to tell me what the temperatures are and what colors I need to make my diamonds and all the information I need. And then for the whole year of 2019, everything's ready to go. I found that I had like 188 diamonds completed. So I was just over 50% and I just needed to get going. So I had this very light pale yellow one on the hook already, so I finished that. It seems a little bit small. But then these golden colors, they're spilling all over. These golden colors, they seem to be just right with the small US 2 hook. So I got 2 of those done, so that's 3. And then I made a whole bunch of orange ones. Let's see, I have 5, 8, 10, I have 12 of them. So I've made 15 so far. I'm a little behind my schedule that I gave to myself. These seem to be a little small. I really don't know. I'm not going to stress too much about it because one, I'm already halfway done and I'm not starting over. I don't know how to figure out what hook exactly I was using, especially since these are too small by a smidge too small, but these golden ones are right on the money. So I'm really not sure. And what I mean by too small or right on the money is compared to the ones that I made last time, like the last time that I worked on this. But I have 15 diamonds done. I have lots of them. And what my goal was is to do one, it only takes a few minutes, maybe 10, 15 minutes max. I was wanting to do one every day on my lunch break at work. This week, I was struggling with a headache all week. I don't know what's going on with that, but it put me into a mood where I really didn't want to do them because I really don't want to do them in the first place. So I don't want to do them when I'm not feeling well. But I will get there. If I can get caught back up, I will be finished with the blanket, at least with the diamonds, by the end of July. And then all I have to do is put them together. But I might do that on the weekends too, here and there. So that way I can kind of keep up with that. I already have one more row to add on. And then I'm reaching the point to having another row. Each row is 16. So I have one complete row and then I need some burgundy ones to go into the next row. So I'm making progress and we'll see. Even if I don't get it done this year, like if it really drags me down and I don't get it finished, I know that I will have great progress in it, and it will be much more progress than what was done in the last 2 or 3 years, which was 0. So there's my crochet for this time around. So you'll see that come up. I'll show you some of the diamonds that I get done, and then as I connect them, then I'll show you that as well. Okay, so now on to cross stitching. No knitting this time. Let's see. I stitched on Super Mario Brothers 3 World 1 map, the grasslands, for 2 days on January. I have my notes. I'm taking good notes like I promised. I'm actually keeping notes in 2 different spots. If I have time to explain that at a different day, I will. But we have a lot to talk about today. So I worked on this. My goal, excuse me, let's see, is 18. It was 1861 or 18. I'm sorry. I'm not sure. My notes say that I need 1,861 per month to finish in 2024. I was mixed up a little bit when I started this month and thought that I needed 1,841. So I did 1,845 and called it a day. So I'm a little bit short for my goal, but that's easily caught up because I did 4 stitches more than what I thought I needed to. So I'm not quite worried about it. But if I do 1,861 for the rest per month for the rest of the year, I will definitely finish this project. This is on 18 count antique white Aida. And like I said, I got 1,845 done. I did all of this up here. I finished some of these because they weren't done yet. So I finished this, did these. I put a lot of sand in over here on this side and started prepping. So I did get a little bit more up here too, above the castle. I did those and then started prepping. I did not put any over on the right hand side of the project because I put it too far into the Q snap, so I couldn't get to it, but great progress. I did not write down the percentage, but I will try to remember to do that for February. So I got my goal done for this one and moved on to Krozwyrd by Long Dog Samplers. This is on that same 18 count antique white Aida. Sorry, I'm have so many thoughts running through my mind right now. I did 2,033 stitches on this before I called it a day for this month. And this project, all of the projects that I'm going to show you are, let's see. Let me finish this and then I'll tell you my thoughts. So I got 2,033 stitches. I did a little bit here and I worked up this column and then I worked here. There was a little bit here by the ease not done, but then I went up more from the bird up across and then down here. It doesn't look like much, but this is 18 count, so there's a lot of little stitches in there. And I am using DMC 915. It's leftover from my Long Dog Pandemic. Okay. So what I was meaning to say is my whip go pieces. I wanted to do those first to get those out of the way. And then I decided that I would pick, when I did get those done, I would pick up projects that were not on my whip go board. Super Mario Brothers 1, I believe, was on my whip go board. Let me flip to that page in my little notebook that I created. Just give me one moment. I need to put a tab on it. I found a stack of tabs, so I'll do that after the video. Oh, Krozwyrd was actually on my whip go, so I could have worked on it as much as I wanted, and I figured 2,000 stitches for 1 month was a good amount of progress, so I moved on. So I got that. The next whip go piece was Starry Night by Prairie Schooler. Super Mario Brothers is not on my whip go, but that has a monthly goal, so that comes first. So if you remember, I had almost all of these done. I needed to do the angel and the wise men. The wise man here and then the angel here. And I only had some crinock to do and some back stitching. No back stitching on the Wise Men. I just needed Krynic. I needed to finish his headdress and the star, and I got started, and I'm super bummed that the colors do not match, like the gold colors don't match from my original spool to the spool that I got a year, well, yeah, I guess it was a year ago. I've been sitting on it for a year, but it took a year for it to come in because of how Krynic had to do things during the pandemic. So there's two different colors in here technically. Well, technically one, but it is two. And then, so I got that one done, and then I finished the angel. I did work on this on 3 different occasions because I didn't want to burn myself out on it really quickly, even though there was only a little bit left to do. It was back stitching and Krynic. So, and the Krynic that I ended up choosing really shouldn't, this is 18 count Oatmeal Aida, and it really wasn't the proper thing to use on 18 count. So it was a little difficult. This time around with the new spool, it seemed to work a little bit better. Maybe I'm just a little bit more experienced here, being like 2 years out from the beginning of the project. I'm not sure. But I worked on this on January 3rd, January 6th, and then I finished it on January 7th. So I did a little bit, and when I felt that I was done and ready to move on, I just went with it and moved on to Krozwyrd to get my stitches in that. So this is finished number 1 for the year. All 7 of them done. I don't know where the other 5 are. They are around here somewhere, and I hope to finish them into ornaments before Christmas comes around again. So then when I finished Super Mario, I finished Krozwyrd, and I finished Starry Night. All of the goals on that were, the goal on Starry Night was actually a finish. Krozwyrd was just to get stitches into it, and like I said, I felt 2000 was a good ending spot. So then I went into my stash of projects, and I chose George Decorates for Martha, because I knew that I picked up the Oscar for these leaves, and I figured I could get a lot of progress in. I did get some progress. This is on 28 count Monaco that I coffee tea dyed myself, and this month I stitched 2,357 stitches on this project. So as you can see, I did get some of the leaves. It's I think 3.5 leaves done. I started a Quaker star. I started some of the acorns. Oh, I stitched the bird, the pumpkins. Oh, the pumpkin on the house. I did that. The pumpkins and most of George. And then I continued the border around down the bottom and started the tree and another Quaker star. And here is the corner. I'm at the corner here to go up. So that's a ton of progress. But I figure there's at least another 2,000 stitches in this project. Not anything as dense as the pumpkins, but there's lots of leaves. I think there's 8 leaves. 8 green leaves on the right side, and then there are 11, 12, 13, it looks like 13 leaves on the left side. So each one was about 100 stitches. So, I mean, there's probably a good 2,500 to 3,000 stitches just in the inside portion, and then there's all of the border left to go. So, that's okay. Once everything gets touched, then then it will be up, you know, because I want to be able to work on everything. So once all of my projects that are not full coverage or on my WIP Go board get touched, then I will go back to the ones that I previously worked on to see if I can get any more finishes for the year. Okay, so I finished working on that on January 13th, but then on January 13th in the evening, I picked up Buffalo Plaid Summer, and I got a finish. It took me a couple of days. Let's see, I picked it up on the 13th. I finished it on the 16th. I figured there wasn't a lot of stitching in here, but I just closed my notebook to use it as a backboard. So let's see. So I did finish the border first before I stitched on anything else. And then I did the flower and the bee skep and the bees, which were a little tedious, to be honest. There's 9 bees in there and then some flowers. So it was a little tedious. That's on 28 count black Monaco with the called for DMC conversion listed on the chart. And it took me 1,343 stitches to finish it, but it's done. So that's finish number 2 for the year. And I think I do know what I want to do with those because I have the whole series. I just need to get them stitched. But, you know, it's just a matter of taking the time to finish the things and get them ready for display versus actually continue stitching on other projects. So there's that. Maybe the next time that I have time off of work, like, I know it's a long time away, but Memorial Weekend. Okay, so then the next thing that I picked up, because I knew that there was not a lot of stitches. Oh, sorry, Buffalo Plaid Summer was stitching with the Housewives. Another stitching with the Housewives. It only took me 168 stitches to get it done, but I did this on the 16th. And the reason why I got so many stitches done on the 16th is because I was not well that day. And that was a day where I'm like, okay, I'm going to stay home and see if I can knock this headache out. And unfortunately, I didn't knock the headache out, but I was able to relax at home and I got a lot of stitching in. So 168 stitches, but not counting the back stitch. Usually on these charts, I only do 1 strand for the back stitching. But this time I decided to do 2, and I really was a lot happier with the 2 strands. I did mess up the height of the word honey, so I just went with it and made the height of the EE and the B the same height. So it worked. It was all supposed to be the same height, but whatever. So then I finished that. And then on the 16th, after I finished that, I picked up Smell My Feet by La-Di-Da. I'm stitching this on, I think it was at one time 18 count Aida, but then of course when it gets dyed, sometimes it shrinks. And I also finished this. I had from here up, I needed to do on this side. So I needed to do her second leg, the bulk of her second boot, and the word treat, and then finish the border. So it wasn't a ton of stitching, but I got a finish. So I have 4 finishes already for 2024. The Smell My Feet took me 672 stitches. That's it. I thought it was going to be a lot more, but then once I added everything up, it was only 672. But I'm not done yet because I finished that on, let's see, I think the 17th. So then from the 17th until today, the 21st of January, I've been working, I'm calling it Dinos Didn't Read, and it's from Etsy, and it says, dinosaurs didn't read, look what happened to them. So I can't remember what is the colorway of this fabric, but it is, I believe it's a 32 count Lugana, hand dyed, and I finished the dinosaur. Yep, I finished the dinosaur, finished the leaves, and started the words in the flower. And I think it said that I was 52% finished. So I have a lot more to go, but it's mostly words and border. The flower is almost 3/4 of the way finished. So it's big, and then there's a couple more leaves on this side going. It'll be here, and then the border will go across. So there's more stitching on that to do, but I think I'm going to keep going until I have it done because there's not a ton. So only about 1,500 to 1,700 stitches left on it since I'm already 50%. There's only just over 3,000 stitches in the whole project. So that is all of the cross stitching and knitting and crochet that I have to talk about this time. But I had teased last year in 2023 that I was planning a cross stitch retreat for the end of May, beginning of June in 2024. So it is May 31st to June 2nd, and it's at the Creative Passions Quilt Retreat Center. They actually have a couple different locations in Chesaning, Michigan, and that is a go. I did get the registration packet that I can email to those that are interested. However, I do have to email them. I have a couple of questions because we were trying to figure out if we could add more chairs to fit more people. Because at a quilt retreat, you need a lot of space to work on your quilts. But in cross stitch retreats, you don't need as much. So I asked them if it was available, if there were chairs available, so that way we could fit more people. So I do know a couple of details, but I'm not going to get too deep into it right now, just because I have to ask a couple of more questions. However, if you are interested in attending the retreat on May 31st to June 2nd, 2024, send me an email, and then when I have the questions answered, I will come back to do my next video, answer those questions, and then send the registration form off to you all. I just want to be absolutely sure that I have all of the information correct before I start taking registrations from anyone at all. I was planning on making a swag bag that would cost no more than $20. You would pay that $20 before I would send you the registration fee. Let me know what you think about that. If you don't like that idea and you just want to pay the registration to come to the retreat, I totally get it. But you guys let me know what you would like. If you want a swag bag, I will make one. I already started gathering items, but don't let that stop you. If you don't want one, I can save those items for something else. So just comment below or send me an email and let me know what you think. Let me know if you want the registration form, if you want to be on the list, and I'll send all of that out as soon as I get my questions answered, and I will go and email them right now. I keep forgetting. It's a short-term memory type of problem with me, that I know that I have to do it, but then I just can't get it. Or maybe I just get distracted with other shiny things that I need to get done. I don't know. But so I'm super excited about that. Also, if you want to tell me, do you want like a trunk show or a mini store or just a freebie table or show and tell table? Do you want to do a smalls exchange? Like, tell me what kinds of things you want at the retreat. We'll go as minimum as you want or go full out as much as you want. So send me those emails, comment below. I'll take all input into consideration, and I'll do as much as you want or as little as you want, as long as it fits into my skill set and I have the energy to do it. I'm up for anything. So I'm super excited about that. I hope that during this video you saw something to inspire you to pick up a languishing WIP, or maybe to even try something new. I'll take your comments on that too. Let's talk about it. But until the next time I see you, I hope that you get a lot of crafting time in. And until then, bye.